Welcome back. This is Michael Levitis from jurisq.com and Legal Network, where we answer your frequently asked questions on law. And today we'll continue with attorney Yakov Spektor, an immigration attorney that is our frequent guest, giving us clarity on immigration law, policy, news, and updates. Yakov, first of all, welcome back. Thank you for your time.
Good to be back, Michael.
In our previous session, we talked about Title 42 that was in the news, a big Supreme Court case. And you can please go back to our previous session on YouTube, on Facebook, or other resources and take a look at what we talked about. Right now, I want to talk about another new development in immigration law arena. There has been a creation of a program called United for Ukraine, which allows some Ukrainian refugees to stay in America. And we talked about it a little bit in our previous sessions. But Yakov told us that this program is being expanded and is now applicable to other refugees from other countries, such as Cuba, Nicaragua, and Haiti. So, Yakov, can you please tell us what exactly does this mean for people who are in U.S. or want to come into U.S. and find asylum from these countries?
Well, this is not really for people who are afraid to go back. Those people are applying for asylum.
Okay.
But this program is something that that's completely new, which is a very rare beast when it comes to immigration law in the United States. We talked about it many times. It's super hard to pass any meaningful immigration reform in this country because both parties don't really want to touch an issue. This issue is too politically dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay,
we call it hot potato. Nobody wants to hold it. They're passing it on to next administration.
Although I love baked potatoes, but nobody is really asking me to fix the system, nor would I be able to. You know, it really requires consensus on the part of a lot of people to be able to do something meaningful. But we are where we are right now, and that's why it came as such a great surprise when in May the United States announced that what they're going to do, they're going to admit 100,000 Ukrainian citizens, and the way they're going to do this, they also did something pretty new. They said that, hey, we're not just going to let people come here, okay? Because that's not really how things work in this country. You know, God forbid we allow just someone to just enter the country, okay? A procedure has to be followed. And the procedure in this particular case was that the government essentially allowed people to sponsor a Ukrainian citizen, or two, or three, or a few.
What does it mean to sponsor?
So that's that word. It scares a lot of people off because they think that, hey, you know what? If I sign up to be a sponsor, okay, what that will mean is that I got my own bills to pay. I don't have any spare money laying around. So what? So now we are going to have a situation when a couple of men in black will show up at a doorstep and flash me an FBI badge and say, okay, Mr. Jones, you promised to be a sponsor for this nice Ukrainian family. Fork up the cash.
Right. Okay.
And so a lot of people actually, I give a lot of consultations when people are understandably concerned. They say that, hey, what does it mean to be a sponsor? How can I sign up to be a sponsor when I have no idea, how much money the government will even ask me to contribute, okay? Right. Because it's really not obvious anywhere from the regulations. And one thing that I want to tell to all the prospective sponsors, okay, it's completely safe, okay? You can sign up to be sponsors of a Ukrainian citizen or a few of them, or as now that the program is being expanded, of a Haitian citizen or a Nicaraguan citizen or
But
a
it's
citizen.
still, by the way, I have a question. Is it still under the same name, United for Ukraine, or is it United for Cuba, United for Nicaragua?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, they're probably going to get us another catchy name. United for Ukraine sounded pretty catchy.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll see what the name. So the jury is still out about the name, but what we do know, because this program has been in effect since May, so that's for about 7 or 8 months, and it was a great success. Okay, it's close to 100,000 people already came to the United States under the auspices of this program.
Great.
Every one of those people had a sponsor in the United States who said that, hey, you know what, I will provide room and board, whatever other expenses for the people who are coming in. Now, there is no enforcement mechanism in place, and that's basically what anybody who's considering to be a sponsor should know. Okay, now look, you guys want to do the right thing. Okay, you do want to help out the people who you're sponsoring, but if you change your mind, or if you're one of those people who just, you know, go back on your financial obligations, or maybe you lost your job, who knows, right? I'm not saying that you know necessarily that anybody who is not going to sponsor those immigrants is a bad person. No, people's situations, you know, could be you know, super different, right? But the takeaway here is that you can sponsor the people who will come here for a better life. If you cannot provide a room or board, or any sort of financial assistance, or any sort of assistance at all, the government will not go after you for that amount. Now, there are lots of reasons why that you know, that may be so, and I think it might take us another segment or two to just go into that. But just you know, one thing to know is that it's safe. You know, do the right thing, do a good thing. Sponsor someone who is trying to come here for a better life, especially someone who is fleeing the war, or is fleeing gang violence, or is fleeing poverty. You know, it's a very
noble thing to do. Very noble thing.
It is. And so now the way the program worked, once you do sign up to be a sponsor, the government will look at your paperwork, hopefully approve you, and then they will reach out to the immigrant, prospective immigrant, ask them for a bit of an information, and then all they will do, they will send them an email with a one-page letter. And all that the letter will do is it will allow that immigrant to get on the plane, so that you know, those nice men and women at the flight registration desk are able to sit them, to let them on board. Because that's what the people at the registration stand do. They want to see that you're able to enter the country, and that their airline is not going to be responsible for flying you back in case you aren't able to. So even before you see anybody, you know, you see anybody in the border in the U.S. border uniform, this is your first checkpoint. Okay, basically the flight attendants are essentially the border. The border officers, U.S. border officers, who will be checking your paperwork. So that letter tells those airline employees to let you on board, and once you actually arrive here, and you will, you know, you will see a border officer who will look at that letter, look at your paperwork, run some database searches, and then allow you in here in a status that's called humanitarian parole, which essentially means that, hey, let's parole this person into the United States for humanitarian reasons. Ukrainians were getting up to 2 years. And let's also allow them to apply for their work permit. Now,
that is very important. That is giving people a way to sustain themselves and their families. That's very important.
Sustain the economy.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's true.
Now, is are Haitians or Cubans or Nicaraguans going to get the same deal? Is yet to be seen, but most likely this program, is being expanded. We did expect it to get expanded. This country needs workers,
Excellent. There's a big problem getting workers. There is supply chain issue, and you and I talked about it. Why not legalize non-dangerous immigrants to allow them to work, and everybody benefits, them, us, and the country.
Exactly. It's a step in the right direction, and regardless of what you might feel about whether we need more immigrants or less immigrants, but we all want a coherent, a smart immigration system that will fill our needs for employment, and that will allow more people to share in the American dream.
Listen, it looks like a pragmatic and humane thing to do. So I'm very glad that now more countries are getting the same kind of protection and rights as people fleeing Ukraine, and I'm hoping that it will be expanded to even more countries. And if Yakov, you do hear more news about any types of changes or expansions of this program or any other program that affects immigrants, please do let us know. We'll bring it back, and you're gonna explain to our audience what is going on. And Yakov, I want everybody here who is listening, who is watching us, to understand what Yakov is doing is general educational information. This is not legal advice. If you want specific legal advice on your case, on your asylum, on your deportation, whatever else, you have to call the law office of Spektor
and Berman.
I got it right. And you have to ask for Yakov Spektor. The phone number is in the bottom of the screen. Yakov, thank you again for providing your insights. We love picking your brain. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and educating yourselves. You're doing the right thing by being informed, and stay informed. Take care, everybody. Until next time. Have a good day.
Always glad to be here.
Pleasure. Thank you.